Hello students, today we are going to discuss our first topic, database concepts. This is basically theoretical topic, practical part of it we will be showing afterwards. Introduction. Today, the success of an organization depends on its ability to acquire accurate and timely data about its operations, to manage this data effectively, and to use it to analyze and guide its activities. The amount of information available to an organization is literally exploding, and the value of data as an organizational asset is widely recognized. The ability to manage this increasing volume of data and to quickly find the information that is relevant to a given purpose tends to become more and more difficult. This drives the need for increasingly powerful and flexible data management systems to simplify the tasks of managing the data and extracting useful information in a timely fashion. If we summarize the first point, the success of an organization depends on acquire data, manage it, and analyze it to guide its activities. Basically, all the organization, they have data and they need to store it and manage them properly because they have to use those data to guide different activities of the organization. Next point, volume of relevant data is increasing rapidly. Today if I have 5 GB data, tomorrow I may have 50 GB. Next day we may have 500 GB. So the volume is increasing rapidly and data is very precious. So it has become an important asset of the organization. So we have to maintain those data properly. Handling increasing volume of data is getting increasingly difficult and we need more and more powerful, flexible and sophisticated data management systems and tools. So as the volume of data increases, we need to handle them intelligently. So for that, we need a powerful, sophisticated data management system, isn't it? Next, then what is a database? Database is an organized collection of data, organized, not haphazard, typically describing the activities of an organization. It is generally stored and accessed electronically from a computer system. So database is an organized collection of data, means within the database we store data generally in different table formats. Within that different rows and columns are there. So suppose our school database we are creating. So for one student, suppose I have written the name and just after that we can't enter the marks of the other student. If we do like that, this will be totally haphazard, isn't it? So organized collection of data means for a particular student, when I am writing the details of a particular student, in a particular row, one after another, all the values we will write of that particular student only. Then only we can say the database is the organized collection of data. We do it in the database only. And as we store the data in an organized manner, we can manage the activities of an organization properly from those data. When we need, we can use those data. It is very easy to search the relevant information from those tables, right? one more thing, we generally store the data in computer system. Why? Because it's a huge amount of data, isn't it? It's not that a small amount. If small amount of data we want to manage, we can do it on one paper, isn't it? But as the amount of data we are storing in the database, amount is huge, volume of data is huge. So we store it within the computer system electronically. Next, database management system, in short DBMS. A database management system is a software designed to assist in creating and managing databases. Managing databases means a wide spectrum of activities as follows. So, the software designed for managing and creating the databases are combinedly comes under database management system, and within this we manage different activities like this. First one, defining, modifying and deleting structure of data. Structure of data also called metadata. Now the structure of data. Within a system, suppose the school management system, first we will identify the entities like your student, one entity, very important within the school management system. Next, suppose teachers. Next, suppose your management staff. So their details we want to store within the school management system, right? So for that, one table we will be creating for storing the details of student, other table for the teachers, other tables for the management staff. So within the table, what are the fields we will create for students? Like registration number, we can keep name of the student, their parents name like father's name, mother's name, address, contact number. One other table we can create for storing the marks of the students. So like that, those are the part of the structure of data. And whenever we want, we can modify those. Modify means we can update the structure of the table. We can include contact number within that table. We can delete that date of birth field if we need it. We can manage those structure of data in the database. Next point, maintaining data integrity by defining constraints. Defining constraints means whatever value we want we can put for the field. Like age, while creating the table for the admission of LKG students, suppose in the age field I want the values from 3 years to 6 years. Suppose any value we want to put there with the age, one student suppose of 7 years. So that 7 years age student's detail we can't enter within that system. So like this we can put the check on the data. So this is called constraint. So this is possible within the database. Next, storing, manipulating and retrieving data. That is the most important work of the database management system. Storing data, most important. When we want, we can modify that, and when we need, we can retrieve it from the database. So this is the most important work of the database. Next, creating, modifying and deleting database users and assigning different access privilege to them. This ensures database security by preventing unauthorized access or modification of data. So, what happened? The database users we can create and we can delete them also. We can modify the privilege, access privilege. Suppose we want some users for viewing the details only. They cannot modify the details of the database. So we can give the access privilege like that. Suppose sometimes we need some users who can modify the details present within the database. So according to that we will give them the access privilege. They can write, they can modify anything inside the database. So unauthorized access also we can prevent in case of the database. Next, maintaining robustness and consistency of database by recovering from system failures. So, what happened? Whenever the system fails, database also keep itself in a consistent state. Like that, we can call it the robust system. So, what happens? Suppose one example I can give you like that. One student or many students are when they are leaving the school, the system is like that. First we will delete her record from the table and then we will issue the transfer certificate. Suppose one student is taking leaving the school, so that record I have deleted and suddenly the system fails. I have not issued the transfer certificate. If I leave the system like this, database automatically will be in the consistent state. Means either both the work will be done or the previous work, means deletion of that particular record, that work will be undone and the database will reach in its previous state. So like that we can say the consistency can be maintained in the database. And robustness means the fault tolerant. So like this, the system is the fault tolerant system. So we can say it is the robust system. Next, managing concurrent access of data by different users or applications. Suppose many users are working on the data present in the database. It is allowed, many users can do their work concurrently in case of the database without affecting the others. So this is very important. Nowadays the working should be fast. So when one user is working, like entering the address details of the student, at the same time other user can enter the marks for that particular student, right? So one user shouldn't wait for the other. So this is very advantageous in case of the database. Next, backup and restoration of data. I told you already, the data is very precious for the organization. So anytime system can fail. So this can be avoided if I keep backup regularly. After the end of the day, regular backup should be kept in one place, and whenever we need it afterwards we can get the data from that, we can restore the data. So backup and restoration of data is very important. Next, database tuning for efficiency and scalability. Now, if a system is performing well, performing fast, we can call it an efficient system, right? And scalable. Scalable means if today 50 users are there and tomorrow 500 users of the systems are there, then without performance degradation, if the system is working, then we can call the system is the scalable one. And in the database we find this scalability. Scalability is very high. The many users can work for the database system. Next, managing physical storage of data in one or many data files. Finally, the data, that is the precious one, the important thing is data storing, and that has to be stored physically in one place. We have to take care of data so that it can be stored, manipulated and used properly for the efficient working of the organization. Next, the advantages of DBMS. We will use the DBMS because many advantages we get for using the DBMS. First one, data independence. Next one, efficient data access. Next, data integrity and security. Next, data administration. Next, concurrent access and crash recovery. Last, reduced application development time. Now, all these 6 advantages we will be discussing one after another. First one, data independence. Application programs should be as independent as possible from details of data representation and storage. The DBMS can provide an abstract view of the data to insulate application code from such details. Meaning, here 2 steps you can consider. The database managers, they who are in the management, they can take care of the storage part of data. How the data are stored internally and how they are maintained. The database managers can take care of that. And application programmers, application programs, they don't have to bother for the internal storage. So application programmers, they have the abstract view of data. They can work with the application code only. So sometimes what happened, as the huge amount of data we have to store in the database, sometimes internally the storage can be changed, but they do not affect the abstract view of the data. Means the application code is not going to be changed, though the internal storage is changed. So this is called when the internal storage we are discussing, that is called the physical storing of data, and when the application programmers are working with the abstract view, that is called the logical part. So the users, the application programmers, they don't have to bother for the internal storage of data. So that is the advantage of database. This is called data independence. Next, efficient data access. A DBMS utilizes a variety of sophisticated techniques to store and retrieve data efficiently. This feature is especially important for large volume of data. huge data. So definitely sophisticated technique, we need to store and manage them properly. Whenever we need it, we can retrieve it properly, we can search the proper relevant information, isn't it? So this storing, retrieving data should be done in a sophisticated manner. So efficient data access can be possible in case of DBMS. That is also very important advantage. Next, data integrity and security. If data is always accessed through the DBMS can enforce integrity constraints on the data. For example, before inserting salary information for an employee, the DBMS can check that the department budget is not exceeded. Also, the DBMS can enforce access controls and govern what data is visible to different classes of users. So, access control, I told you, some users may need to view the details only. They don't have the right to update the data. So, according to the users, we can give the access privilege. That is possible in case of database. So, like this, we can prevent the unauthorized access, and through integrity constraints we can control the range of data, we can control the invalid data insertion in the database. Suppose for I told you previously that that age, that for LKG admission age criteria we can keep that 3 to 6 years. Same thing, suppose employee table is there. For employee table, we want to keep the salary range from 30,000 to 70,000. So the records should have the values within that range of the salary values within the table. So like this, it ensures security and consistency of data by preventing entry of invalid data and unauthorized access. Data administration. Managing data is very important. When several users share the data, centralizing the administration of data can offer significant improvements. Experienced professionals who understand the nature of the data being managed and how different groups of users use it can be responsible for organizing the data representation to minimize redundancy and for fine-tuning the storage of the data to make retrieval efficient. So basically what happened? Data should be maintained in a proper way. It should be, database should be centralized, means whole data, whole informations about the organization should be maintained in a single place. Like our school database we are using, with the about the school, all the informations, how many students are there, how many teachers are there, how many staff, how many peons, whole informations we are maintaining in a single place, and this is called the centralized database. So within that, if the database is maintained properly, then experienced professionals can handle it. It is very easy for them to use those data for the working of the school. So like that, we want minimum redundancy. Redundancy means here the repetition of data. We don't want the repetition within the database. Why? Because one example, within the school database, in two places, suppose we are maintaining the details of that student. What happened? Suddenly that student is taking TC. One place I have updated, in one place I have updated, other place we may forgot. So like this, it gives us the inconsistent database, isn't it? So if the instead of maintaining the details in many places, if we maintain the detail in a single place, if that student is taking TC in one place, if we are making the correction, that is sufficient. It will give us a perfect database. The consistent state of the database can be maintained, and that happens, that minimize redundancy, it leads to more data consistency. One more point is there, no data isolation. Relationship among different data items may be defined. Within the database, all the data, whatever data we are storing, all are related to each other, isn't it? One teacher, definitely teachers are teaching the students. The name of the students, name of the teachers, name of the management persons, name of the peons, all are related somewhere. In what way? All are working in a single organization in the same school. So like that, all are related. So no data isolation and minimize redundancy. That can give the data much more centralized, much more maintained properly in the database. Next point, concurrent access and crash recovery. I told you, in case of the system failures, suppose hard disk failed or any other system crashes, in that time database can recover its state. So concurrent access also, I told you that concurrent access means all the users working at the same time with a different part of the database. It happens within the database. Suppose one person in the office is dealing with the student table. At the same time, that same table can be used by the other persons. One is doing the changing the details of the students, one is dealing with the marks. So this type of work can be possible in case of database. That is, from that point of view also, database is very advantageous. At the same time, concurrently the users are working, but they are not affecting the others' work. So it ensures consistency of data against simultaneous access and updation of same record and against system failure. Reduced application development time. Clearly, the DBMS supports many important functions that are common to many applications accessing data stored in the DBMS. This, in conjunction with the high-level interface to the data, facilitates quick development of applications. Such applications are also likely to be more robust than application developed from scratch, because many important tasks are handled by the DBMS instead of being implemented by the application. So application programs will get the data readily and as per the desired criteria, format and order, and development time will be reduced. So database, it is a sophisticated system. So with it we can reduce the application development time. Thank you.